All right, all right, all right. Well, I'm super excited to have this call with you guys today. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna mute you, Heather, for a minute. And there we go. I got Ashley too. Okay. And before I get started, I would just love to just get an idea on, who you are and what had you get on this call today. And so we can just get a feel for, I know some of you on this call are actually already enrolled in the trainer certification. There's one on here that already finished it. And then there's three of you, or three of you that are probably interested in finding out. And I'm sure Kim and Leslie, you're probably interested too, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So, who wants to start? Heather, why don't I just call you out? You knew I was going to do that, didn't you?
I did. I'm Heather, and I actually just finished Rewired for Peace as a student, and I found it to be very powerful. And I already signed up to be an affiliate, so I've been sharing the link out and doing stuff like that because I believe in the course a lot. And so I was just learning more about what it means to be an instructor, what's involved, and all that other good stuff. So a trainer.
Cool. Well, welcome. Awesome. Thank you, Heather. And Kim.
Well, I've signed up and I have been so just looking forward to this. And it's so funny. I thought for my tuition deadline, I thought it was like March or something. So I hurried up and did what I needed to do to take care of it. But that also taught me, like, wait a minute, I could do that anytime. Why did it take something like this for me to like really kick into being super creative? So
That's
so
good. You already had a breakthrough. You haven't even started the course.
Right.
That's beautiful. I so look forward to having you and showing you what this is all about. So blessings to you. All right, Pam, eager.
Oh, there we go. I apologize. I've been in Vegas for 3 days and I have zero voice.
Oh, so, is it from partying? Is it from partying or being a keynote speaker?
That can be your guess, Joe. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with both.
All pleasure.
Okay.
All pleasure. I did some of the coursework back in 2019 and got very sick, and life happens, and COVID hit, and really got disconnected from my passion and my heart, and also got a granddaughter during this time. And I think the world is, I'll be 53 next month, and the world scares me. I think that we are in crisis, and our children are in crisis, and my granddaughter is in crisis. And if I don't leave a legacy and speak up, I mean, my boyfriend is transgender, and what is going on in our community breaks my heart, that the government gets to tell us how to raise our children, and that feeling uncomfortable in your own body is not only a sin but a crime. And I don't think that is how God, or my God, intended for the world to be. And I want to love and be loved, and finally finish what I started. I don't know if you remember, but I dropped out of the last class because I got very sick. I did one session. I wholeheartedly believe in what you do. It's been October will be 10 years of personal development work. And It's time for me. It's my time.
Yeah, it's like how you know, how can we all come together to put a stop to all this madness? And it may take some time.
I have no rights to my body, and my children have no rights to theirs. So I want to know how in a democracy we allow that to happen.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
If we don't speak up and start advocating, I mean, my boyfriend and I this morning, he's reading Reddit, and I said, you got to stop reading that, because you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting your little boy and your little girl. And maybe we put, a not-for-profit together to start raising money for transition and mental health. And like, that's where we can impact. Instead of looking at what's wrong, let's figure out how to make some things right.
Yeah.
So of course, this hit this morning, and I'm going to have to jump over Holly because we're going to the airport, but I certainly wanted to be here to connect and say, I'm in.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. And we're recording this too, so you'll be able to watch the ending and, I'll say, okay, perfect. Awesome, Pam. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see, Elizabeth.
Hi, everyone. Oh,
now you're muted. No, now you're muted. You were actually not muted.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I've done the training when gratitude was in existence, and Jo was kind enough and, of course, loving enough and compassionate and just, passionate about bringing it online and making a trainer certification course. And I did it. I participated, and it was an incredible experience. So I am here to support you however I can.
Beautiful.
And congratulations to you that you have signed up for an incredible experience that's going to change your life, or it's going to enhance your life.
Awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right. So, Ashley.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Awesome. So I'm here because I taught for 10 years and I felt at a loss in my career as far as making the difference that I wanted to make. It was a big difference to many children, but not as big as I would like to make waves in this world. So I left, and then I got sick. And then now I'm better and I'm ready to have a purpose again. And so I thought, what a great way. My brother has done this training before and highly recommended it. And I just thought, with my background, maybe I could use it and spread it.
Love it. Beautiful. Thank you, Ashley, and welcome. Leslie, are you able to pipe in? You're muted still. You're muted.
Okay. Oh. If you hear a rooster crowing, ignore that. We adopted a chicken and they grew into a rooster. And anyway, and if you hear my dog chewing on bottles, I'm sorry. He's going crazy right now. But I've been around transformational work for a long time, since 2011, started with gratitude training. I also ended up actually working for gratitude training. So I know Jo very well, and I consider her not only a former colleague, but at this point, a very dear friend. We trust very much. And I did the online Rewired, and I really loved it. And so now I want to be a trainer. I signed up earlier for the first trainer program, and I had to move it to now because a lot of things in my schedule. But so I am signed up to begin again, and so I'm here today. I can't stay the entire time, but I'm here also to connect, as well as just to be here and hear whatever there is to hear for while I can be here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to have you in this one. We're going to make it this time.
Yes.
Beautiful. And Lisa, do you mind sharing what had you be on the call today, and you know what you're looking for, looking to create in the world? Oh, let's see. Let me unmute you here. There you go.
Hi. Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, I'm here today because gratitude changed my life, and I am healed from the inside out, and I am just about walking again. And I've been seeking clarity and asking the universe, and I thought this is where it all started, and I could give this gift to the world. So I wanted to see what this was all about.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Did we do everyone? I think we did. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to put the slides on because I have a few slides for you guys. So let me just make sure I set it up here. Okay. All right. So, oh, actually, I don't need it on yet. Sorry. So about 15, let me just tell you a little history quickly, and then I'll kind of go into what the program is about. But about 15 years ago in 2007, that was the first time I came across this work. And I attended like a similar training to Rewired for Peace or to Part 1. And I was completely blown away. And it had me reframe my entire life, my past, my present, my future. And it was almost like I was on this train track that was okay. Like I was probably going to create a pretty good life based on where I was going. But in taking the training, it was like it put me on a completely different track with results and stuff that I wasn't even able to dream up the person I was then. I mean, I look back now, I'm like, holy crap. And because of this new way of seeing life and seeing things and having different perspectives, I was able to step into this whole new world of, you know, possibility, freedom, leadership, power, gratitude, and have the tools to be able to, you know, successfully, you know, navigate. It's getting harder and harder to navigate this world, but to navigate this world. And then 3 years later in 2010, I hired some of the top trainers in the field, and together we designed the gratitude training, which was a transformational leadership training with, you know, focus on transforming the world, which for me has always been and still is to create peace on the planet. And for me, it's to create peace on the planet in my lifetime. When you put a time frame to a declaration, it becomes a promise. So that's my time frame. So then over the following 10 years, the gratitude training had this like massive growth, and we were operating in 5 cities across the US with over 20,000 graduates out there today in the world. And some of you are here, which is so cool. And then as with any business, especially because of the rapid growth, there were ups and downs, right? I mean, we all have ups and downs. And the first real down was our headquarters was destroyed by a hurricane. And then I was cyberbullied for 2 years. Then was frivolously sued for $6 million. And like everything was causing this like insane cash flow issues. So I was already like, the company was already really shaky. And then COVID hit. And I had to close all the centers overnight. And there was no going back to the way things were. I knew I couldn't, because we had over $200,000 a month in expenses, and then suddenly zero income. And, you know, some people ask me why I didn't pivot right away and offer the trainings online immediately. And while that could have been awesome back then, when you're sitting with $200,000 a month in expenses, and you got to shift the whole business model to go online, when we had done the way we had done it for 10 years, there was no way I couldn't even see it. And I was also devastated, because it was like, it was like losing my baby, because gratitude was my baby on some level. So instead, I took 2 years off, and I handled closing the business and filing personal bankruptcy. And then I moved the family to Mallorca. where I'm right now in Spain, because my parents have lived here for the last 30 years. And, you know, I could probably give you a whole sob story about losing my business and our house in Florida and all the stuff, but that's not really who I am. So even though the 2 years were really hard, my vision of peace and gratitude has still stayed intact. And it's been probably the one thing that keeps me going in some areas. So last March, it's been a little over a year, I decided it was time to spread my joy and my knowledge and experience and all this with the world again. And more importantly, I really wanted to share this powerful work. But this time, I needed to figure out a way to redesign it to be effective online so that I then can also reach a much broader audience. And one of my mentors told me one time that I needed to stop being a big fish in a small pond. And so now I feel like I'm a teeny tiny fish in a huge pond. So we got lots of areas for breakthrough for sure. So I hit the drawing board and I referred to all the quote unquote old training materials. And as I was doing that, what was really reaffirmed for me was that pretty much everything that we taught was all present in our part 1 4-day course. And then the part 2 was more like, okay, now I'm gonna have extreme breakthroughs in these areas and go a little deeper. And then part 3 was putting it in action. But everything as far as distinctions and all that was pretty much in part 1. And so then I thought about my vision, my vision to create peace in my lifetime. And I was like, okay, I just suddenly kind of realized why everything evolved the way that it did to this very moment in my life. Because, now we have this world, because of COVID, that's not afraid to attend courses, right? And be vulnerable and connect online. And technology is constantly improving. And, I'm an ex-computer consultant, so I keep trying to see what new updates are coming in Zoom and then thinking, okay, how could I change that exercise to make it more effective? And it's like, it's happening and it's working, And, I guess when you declare world peace, which is what I've really declared or even made a promise, and then live into it, you end up creating pandemics and hurricanes and moves across the Atlantic and all that stuff. But through all of this, I was able to stay grateful because, any hardship that I go through, I always use the quote from A Course in Miracle, which is, I know not what this is for. And it has me be able to pause and just be like, okay, I know not what this is for. And then I could watch and just experience what's going on instead of making up a bunch of stuff. So I created Rewired for Peace. And the best way to describe it is, it's a course that's really morphed its way into being throughout time. So it's not just me, it's throughout time, throughout experience and collective efforts of other people, right? Because the foundation is a collection of work from our fathers and mothers of transformation, such as, and you might not know these names, but you will, because I'll give you history in the beginning of the trainer course. But like Werner Erhard, John Enright, Alexander Everett, John Hanley, and other people from the human potential movements that was born like 60 years ago. And so my reimagined and revitalized online version is a 6-week course. So some of you have taken it and some of you have not. And if you do the certification, you will actually be taking the 6-week course at the same time. And so it's a 6-week course that will essentially invite students to a life of transformation, to live transformation, to utilize what they experience in the training in their life, and then use the tools and distinctions to live a life of no regrets, life of freedom, power, gratitude, peace. And I really firmly believe that when enough human beings step into living from love rather than fear, we will see peace. And then, of course, I didn't just stop there, because I immediately thought, okay, what's the quickest and most effective way to get this work out to the masses? And I was like, well, first we need an army of transformational trainers sharing the work, right? And so the vision of gratitude training, now I'm going to put my screen on. Here we go. So the vision, you can see it right here. This is the vision and mission, right? And the purpose for today is to talk about the way, right? So the vision is to awaken the planet, maximize joy, and actualize peace. The mission of gratitude is to inspire, create, and transform leaders to evolve into their natural change maker essence. And the way is enrolling the world into Rewired for Peace through a powerful, committed, and collaborating trainer body. That's how we're going to have it happen. And that's why we're here today. That's why you're here today, simply because I've declared that the world gets to awaken, and through that awareness, co-create a world that works for everyone. So what is a transformational trainer? So the way that we have it distinct in this course is a transformational trainer is a conduit for the possibility of another to live transformation. They invent distinctions into the listening of other people so that it is accessible and usable to create a new reality. And being a transformational trainer is to master the context, purpose, distinctions, and principles of transformation, as well as being grounded in the mechanics and specific objectives of that which is being delivered. That's essentially it. That's is my goal to teach you over 8 weeks, including all the materials and all the other stuff that you'll get to be able to successfully deliver Rewired for Peace, which is a version of live part 1, but it's online now, to your own community. So knowing that this is what I was like now up to, as I was teaching the first few online classes, I created this 8-week Rewired for Peace trainer certification. And I just graduated the first 8 certified trainers. And Elizabeth, who's on here, is one of them. So that's exciting. And the course is an intensive and quite, and Elizabeth will attest to this, quite technical and groundbreaking program, because at the end of the 8 weeks, you will be ready to deliver your first Rewired for Peace course on your own to your own community. And that is if you put the work in on the 8 weeks. That will be a very intense 8 weeks to get ready to actually, boom, do it right away. But if you do follow and do the homework and everything, you actually can be that ready that quickly. You'll get the entire script, you'll get slides, you get all the graphics for the course. And you get videos of lectures, so you could always refer back to the videos of me delivering something if you're like, wait, how do I do that? And you can always go back and be like, okay, got it. That now it makes sense, because sometimes just looking at the script, it might not make sense. You get also script and slides for 3 introduction classes. The out of the box, it's a 60-minute intro class. Rewired for Leadership is a class on leadership that you have to rewrite a little bit, because I use a lot of my own personal examples in there. And then Rewired for Success also has some personal stuff that you would rewrite to fit it for you, but you get the scripts for those 3 classes. And then ongoing support and collaboration through a trainer community that we call Leaders for Peace. And we do bi-monthly calls and connect and see where everybody's at, and talk about different ways of marketing and like trying to position ourselves and all that good stuff. We just had one today. And then you'll be licensed to use the teachings as you wish, and to whomever you choose. And there's a little star there, because if you do decide to call it Rewire for Peace and kind of piggyback on my movement, then you have to deliver it the way I deliver it, and the way that it's designed. If you, like I had some people in the last certification class, one guy, he's going to take it into corporate, and he's like, I need to chop it up. I need to just use this. And so he's literally creating his own course with the materials he has. And he just can't call it Rewired for Peace then. But he'll still refer to, you know, where this training comes from. But the rest is all on him. So there's a lot of freedom in how you choose to do it. You know, I have one guy that's doing it for a church community. You might want to do it for kids, you know, like who knows what you guys are all going to come up with. And then we collaborate together to get the work out there. So essentially it's an 8-week immersive program that covers the context and the content required to deliver the entire 8-week course to your own clients. And then you have, once you're certified, you have permission to use the materials, all the scripts and the slides, however you want to tailor it. So here's how the training is set up. So we got the context, which is a space for awakening. The content is the students and the results. The intention is where to land the training. And the mechanism is the delivery and the materials. Now, the way the trainer certification is set up is mostly mechanism, because for me to be able to get you to a place and have all the materials and know how to use Zoom, and I mean, there's so much going on, I had to focus a lot on the 8 weeks on mechanics. And some of it is you doing stuff on your own. And then we created a ongoing Leaders for Peace community. And that's where we keep working on context, content, intention, all of that. And the mechanism now is a smaller part of that. And so let me talk a little bit more about the materials and the resources that are included. And any questions so far, or should I just keep going and then we'll take questions? All right. Okay, I don't see. Just raise a hand if you have a question and we'll go from there. So everything is pre-designed and ready for your branding. And I also have, you know, I do a lot of right now I'm working on creating a distinctionary called a transformational dictionary called Distinct. And if you're on the email, you might have seen daily distinctions coming out. And so all of these materials will be available for you to use as you know, create, you know, your world of marketing and getting out there and getting yourself seen. And so, you know, I have tons of social media posts and graphics and all this stuff. And some of it is set that you could actually put your own branding on it as well. And that's true for the slides and, you know, all of that. You can actually sort of design the way you want it if you decide to do that. Let me see if I want to stop here or not. So I talked a little bit about Leaders for Peace. Let me just tell you a little bit more about Leaders for Peace. Or actually, sorry, here. This is the trainer certification program manual. So you'll get a manual where you have all the distinctions from the training in there. You have marketing tools. You have all the slides that I show you during the training. Most of those slides, you'll get those in your manuals at the end, so you can refer back to certain things. And that's very supportive for you. And then at the end of it, you get a certificate and you're a certified trainer, and that means that you get to now go out and deliver it on your own. I also do have a licensing agreement that I just finished. So Elizabeth and the first group haven't even seen it yet. But I worked with one of the trainers to create it because I want this to be just that it's more like for clarity than putting any, what's it called? Like strings on you, or like, oh, you have to pay me to deliver it. It's none of that. It's basically just saying how you can use the mark, meaning the Rewired for Peace and things like that. So we have that ready for you guys as well. And now I would like to open up for some questions, actually. And also like, what are you looking for? And so, yes, Pam, go for it.
What is the pricing? Because I'm a bottom line person.
Okay,
And-
I love it. I can.
And my understanding is correct. If we don't want to do exactly what you're doing or do that and something else, is the rebranding gonna hinder that? Like if I wanted to coach this and also coach something else?
No,
Separate.
you can decide to do the rewired for peace the way that it's designed, and then you could also be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to take this little section on integrity and I'm going to go coach that to, or I'm going to go coach that to a corporation, or so you could actually do both as long as you keep it
I
clear.
apologize. I'm just walking around the hotel. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So pricing, that was the
Yeah. Okay.
question.
So let me put it, I'll pull that up now then. So let's go back there and okay. It's going to come. Let me take you through it. Okay. So included in the 8-week program is 8 3-hour live online weekly group Zoom sessions that I'm leading. I'm going to mute. Oh, there. Oh, she muted herself. Good. And then the trainer certificate, access to all the recordings and materials in your own app, trainer manual, marketing materials, and then ongoing support. Regular costs $5,000. If you sign up in the next 3 days, you also get these bonuses. 1 year Leader for Peace membership. That's the community that with trainers only that we work together and have bi-monthly calls. And you know, if I update the script, you'll get an updated script kind of thing. And that's normally $95 a month, but you get a whole year included. And then bonus number 2 is a free audit and feedback with me in one of your 2 hours of weekly sessions. Meaning, so let's say you're done and then you start teaching it and you might be like, I don't know, like class number 5, week 5 is really difficult. Like, can you sit in and watch me deliver it and give me feedback? And that's included. Bonus number 3 is 1 hour vision coaching with me. That is if you pay in full. And then bonus number 4, if you haven't done Rewired for Peace, you will also get the Rewired for Peace class included in the certification, because all of you will also have access to that class during our sessions, during our 8-week. So totally, it's a total value of about $7,500, and you get it all for $3,000. So the total is $3,000, and we start in 2 weeks, so it's kind of tricky. I probably will run this bonus till we start, but I would say if you want to make a commitment, you want to actually at least make a deposit soon, so that I know, because I'm sending emails and setting everything up in the next week or 2. And
what is the deposit? How much is the deposit?
I believe it is 500, and let me just double check that, because I haven't.
Joe, I sent you my phone number privately in the chat.
Okay.
I'm running to the airport. Can we?
Yeah, we can
tonight
schedule a
or
car.
tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On Thursday, I actually have some slots available. I'll send you a link. You can sign up for a slot.
Fantastic. That's perfect.
Okay.
I want in.
Okay. Okay. Awesome, Pam. Have
Okay,
a great
you.
day. Okay.
You too.
Thank you. No
Bye.
worries.
Oh my God.
Now, does anyone have any questions about like what's included, the pricing, or anything like that? Okay. So, oh, someone's coming in right now. 36 minutes. All right. And let me stop the share. So let me just hear, like, is this something that you're looking for, or is this something that can fit in with the vision that you have? Or, you know, like, what is it that you're committed to doing? And then also, you know, any other questions like how do I do this? You know? Yes.
I'll speak. Oh my God, I can't speak. it is, oh my God, it's so, it is so much what I have been praying for. It's the reason why I even did this work when I started the whole long time ago is I saw my community not knowing who they are. He just wants us to read. And I saw so much possibilities for them. And I didn't know how to get to them enough of them fast enough. Didn't have the mechanism in the old way. I didn't see it happening, and I see it happening. So I just want to say thank you. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you know what, Kim? It's just it's so real because like when we, you know, even when I took the 2 years off and then I started getting involved in the work again, I mean, it's like tears of joy, really, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's a beautiful thing because I feel it, and I feel like the pressure cooker of the world is just like boiling right now, and the timing couldn't be better to be able to have something where it's simple and people can do it from their home, and we can start getting the conversation started. Like, yeah, maybe people are not going to be fully transformed after 6 weeks, but they'll certain, and Heather, I mean, you can attest to, you just finished, like it does point you in the right direction, right? And suddenly you start living transformation. It's like, wait, could I look at this differently? And it's like just that alone can change your entire life, you know. So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Anyone else with questions, concerns, circumstances, excitements? See, I don't know if you're unmuting yourself or if you're just Lisa, are you unmuting yourself or no? Heather?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can't see you. There you
Okay.
go.
Like,
You're like,
I'm on my-
you only get my voice or my face. You can't have both.
exactly. My phone, it's like I hardly ever use Zoom on my phone. And so I'm like, every time I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? But my computer is dead. And so I had to
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, so how much when you typically, I know what we got, like kind of what I paid for it when I did it through the offer that you did, but what is it like typically when you would like enroll people, what would you typically charge, or how would, from that perspective?
So enroll your own people.
Correct. Yeah.
So the only thing I have is to not charge less than $275. And the reason I do that is to keep like some value, right? And to not have someone out there just like, whoa, like, right? Right now I have it set at $675. I discount it to $475 on my the gratitude.com website. And when I do an intro, I do another 100 off, and it's $375. When I started, I started with $275, but I find that the jump to $375 wasn't that big. I mean, this course should be $2,000. Let me just let's just acknowledge that first based on what it does. But so that's sort of the range. Now, could you charge $2,000? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But just not lower than $275, just to keep some bar there.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. I was just thinking. So
yeah. Any other questions? So Ty came on a little late here. Ty, are you able to introduce yourself? Okay. Oh, here. Hello.
Hold on a minute. I'm driving.
Road trip.
I am.
It's okay. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm actually I tried to get on at 12, but and then I just remembered my alarm went off, and I ran in. So I'm just kind of listening. I have no idea. I'm just kind of listening.
Okay, well, we're recording it, so I'll make sure you get a recording. And then also in the email I'll send a link to, if you want to set up a one-on-one after seeing the recording and looking at the website, and you're like, I still have questions, you can set up a one-on-one with me as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Lisa, any questions?
Hold on, I'm gonna go back.
I was just wondering if anyone's doing this in group settings.
Live, you mean?
Yeah, if anyone's like taking this to centers and actually doing it.
So I know that the guy that's doing it for his church community, he's putting together a 6-month program, and Rewired for Peace, the 6-week course, is part of it, and they're going to do it in person to their community. Now, what the certification program, I'm teaching you how to teach it online for online. So you wouldn't necessarily get like the timeline and what happens in the room and, you know, all that stuff. And that's something that some people have, you know, expressed interest in, and that's going to be more like on an on-need basis, and I might package some stuff up and have that available. But you are getting the whole course pretty much. So there is a way for you to figure it out as well.
So are you basically getting like the distinction that I can vividly remember? Like if it's to be, it's up to me. So is it like sort of like those things that we learn that like are those pivotal things that we just need to know? And
yeah, so like
fear over love, like I know that one like instantly off the top of my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is that...
It's the lectures. So you did did you do the whole thing?
Yeah, like 3 times.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
so
coaching.
Yeah, so just imagine a part 1 being moved into an online version. Imagine that.
And see, and that's hard for me because one of the greatest gifts I think was the connection. And so I make up the way the world is today that we need to get more into connection. And I don't know if that's online or not online, but that was like it was a journey that you went on, and you had support, which was what made it so special.
Yeah. Leslie, do you have something to speak into this?
I do.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Elizabeth. Okay, so first you and then Elizabeth. Go, Leslie.
Okay. All right. Well, yes, I just wanted to speak into that because I also had that same concern. I couldn't imagine how any of this coursework would be done online, and particularly for that reason, that connection. And I've done this, and I've also done other online versions of the training, and I have to tell you, I was blown away. Like I audited a part 1, and I then ended up doing some coaching online, and blown away what happened. And I actually am getting chills right now thinking about it, because the connection was there regardless. So I'm just here to say, you know, give it a shot, be open to that.
Well, I invite, can we connect after today? Can you message me, Elisa Lynch, on Facebook? Because I would like to talk to you some more.
Elisa Lynch. Okay.
So
yeah, Elisa. I go by Elisa now, Elisa.
Elisa and Lynch, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like there's things that you get in the live training that you maybe can't get in the online training, but then there's things that you get in the online training that you can't get in the live training. One of the things I've noticed by just making it a 6-week course is every distinction that I'm delivering, now the students then have a whole week to be with it, you know, whether it's trust or, you know, more, better, different, or, you know, and so it's like you're really active in your life with like this mind now. And I don't know if I mean, you even said like you've done part 1 and coached and been there a few times, and remember, every time you come in, right, you're like, oh my God, I don't even remember learning this last time, right? Because it's so much over 4 days that it's like almost difficult to even disseminate it, or whatever that word is. So that's something that that's actually positive about the being spread out, and that, people don't have to travel and all the stuff. You have time to actually do it. So Kim, go for it.
I just wanted to add just a little bit to the same question. All of that ditto, agreed. But what was so profound for me is that I took the training in the middle of my life, in the middle of my office, in the middle, looking across the room at people that I'm in relationship with right now. And I didn't have to leave the hotel ballroom and go home and call them and figure. They were like right across the way. I can see them. So the immersiveness in one's life is something that I really truly appreciate, and obviously is not available in a hotel room.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Elizabeth.
I just want to add that I did the live training, and it is an incredible experience by far, but also doing the online training works just as beautifully as in person, because you're still in communion with others. And like Jo said, you really do get more time to absorb what you're learning, what you're experiencing. So like, both online, live and online, they both offer, transformation. It offers, it's just the same beauty. It's just a different way, but it still works beautifully.
And as much as I would love to be in the room again, I don't think it's not an effective way to reach my vision, because like the way that the live trainings are set up, it's like, it's this unbelievably powerful training for a few people. Right? And I'm like, okay, well, let's just have a good training for the masses. Right? So I think the model of, and I also find it difficult to get people to even come to a live training. I mean, that's what, at least what I hear people say, oh, thank God, like I don't have to drive 2 hours and park and then be gone and all this stuff. So, it's pros and cons. And I think that both needs to exist, period. And the cool thing is you could take this stuff and be like, you know what, I want to run a live training. And having done it, all I can say is like blessings and good luck. It's not easy to run a transformational live center. Yes, Kim. Or maybe she still has her hand up.
Yeah, lower. I
Okay.
forgot to lower my hand.
That's okay. It's a Zoom etiquette, right? Zoom. Now, did that spark any questions for you, Heather? No. Okay.
No.
Awesome.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find this darn mute button that keeps disappearing for me on my phone.
Don't you love it?
I know. No, I'm echoing everything that everybody said about the online experience. That's the only thing I've known, and I don't have any history with gratitude or any of the other stuff. And for me, it was an extremely powerful experience. It very transformative for me. And I know that I was already thinking as I was going through the course, oh, I wonder how this would be in person. Like, I wonder what the impact of this would be. And some of it to me feels like even better online, because there are some moments where you just need some privacy and not worrying about what other people are doing in that space. And online kind of gives you that little insulation a little bit, so that then you can be a little bit more vulnerable. I felt that way, at least. But
yeah, awesome. Yeah, and the thing is, it's like we're gonna do and be who we are regardless. And so the reason I say that is I have people that come through the online class, and some people I don't even see them. Right? Is that on me? No. right? There's some people that, oh, life happened, whatever. And it's the same thing in the live trainings. We lose usually 10 to 15% after the first day. And so it's one of those things, it's like, how ready is the student? And that's where, as you know, we get to enroll people in like taking the next step. And I think the live trainings in some cases, if they stay and don't leave the first day, they're kind of forced in this pressure cooker. And so they're kind of forced to stay to have their breakthroughs. But if you're already like hungry for it, like someone like you, Heather, you're hungry for it and you're, you know, you're here, then you're going to create tremendous value from the trainings because the material is that powerful. And so it's like, however you do you, right? You're going to do the way you do you. And so that's going to be true for anyone that you enroll. And so you'll learn how to not take things personally, and also how to like really focus on the people that really want it, because those are the people that are going to help us create a new beginning. Really is what it is at this point. We're like at -10 right now. So so with that said, again, I'll put this back up real quick. Oh, and one thing that's important for me to also share with you, because the training, let me put this slide up. When we certify trainers to become trainers at Gratitude Training for the live training, it was like a 2-year process, and it still didn't guarantee that you would stand in front of the room and deliver the training, because there weren't enough, you know, centers and spaces for everyone that got certified to actually be hired and deliver the training. Also, it was 2 years because there's a foundational or fundamental depth that you need to have as a trainer. Now, you cannot get that in 8 weeks. I mean, maybe some of you can. I'm not going to say no. Anything is a possibility. So the way that it's going to work is that we're going to reverse it, because before it was like, we're going to teach you how to master the training before you can even have a chance at delivering it. It doesn't work that way in real life, and I've seen it. And so I'm reversing it. And we used to always say, don't parrot the training, don't parrot the training. And now I'm saying, yes, parrot the training, right? So in the beginning, because I'm giving you the state of the art script and all the stuff and all the distinctions, you're literally going to be parroting the training, right? You're going to read the script in your classes and your coaching notes and all the stuff, so that and as you begin to deliver, right, the training, you start embodying it and understanding it on a completely different level over time. And now you start living the training. So then you start living the training, and then you get up to mastering the training, being a clearing, mastering, managing moods, right? All of it. And so it's sort of like a process. And that's why, you know, I highly recommend that people stay in the community with us, because we keep doing stuff. Like, for instance, one of the things I don't have in Rewired for Peace that I want in Rewired for Peace is the red-black game. And I have it designed to work in a really effective way with you alone as a trainer without staff, but I haven't tested it. So now I get to test it with the trainers, stuff like that. So you'll be able to see as things evolve. And that's pretty much it. And I just think that's an important point, because like I'm transparent about it. Like, you're literally going to be reading scripts in your first classes, and and maybe for a while until you nail down the work. And I would say not until you nail it down without a script should you even think about getting on stage and delivering this work to other people. And, you know, so that's depends on how much you want to go for it. Okay, so the site, I will send you an email. I think there's an email probably already sent your way. It's with a link to sign up, and I think I actually have two. I can put it in for you. I'm going to put it in the chat. Certification. Chat. Okay, so there's a link. You might have already been to that site because I usually put it out there. And you can ignore the timer. The timer says 5 hours before you have to sign up. You can ignore that. It'll reboot itself when it goes to 0, so you can still get this deal. I'm going to keep this until we start. The deposit, oh, there's a monthly payment plan if you want to do that. So you can see, let me actually put this up real quick so you can see this. Oh my God, my mouse is my mouse is on the fritz. Let's see. So if you see here, there is a monthly payment plan if you want to do that instead. Then it ends up being a little bit more than 3,000 because of the admin and all that stuff. But that's a 6-month payment plan that you can choose to do if you don't want to do the 3,000 before the course starts. It says here the 2,000 balance due is April 30th, but it would be at the course start at this point since we're getting so close to it. But here you can see everything, and you can also kind of see what we're doing week 1, week 2, week 3, like how it's all set up and the dates, so you can put it in your calendar and make sure that it all works. The 3-hour sessions are recorded. I highly recommend that you're on them because we do a lot of live practice and stuff, but you can watch it if you miss one. So, it's okay if you do miss one. And we start on May 18th. Thursday, May 18th is the first, that's like our official start. But on May 16th is the regular Rewired for Peace. So for those that haven't done it, would be in that class on that Tuesday. And also all the trainers that are being certified get to be in there if they want to. If not, you can always go back and look at the recordings and refer to it. But that's going to be the videos that you have is from that class, because you'll agree to those ground rules with those students. And that's how we're doing it. All right. That's all I got. Any last minute questions?
Joe, Ty asked a question in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yes, Ty, it is. There is no prerequisite. The only prerequisite is that you've done Rewired for Peace, but there is a course happening at the same time as the certification program. So you would essentially be busy on Tuesdays during lunch hour if you're in Eastern time, and then on Thursdays from 3 to 6 p.m. So you would kind of be doubling down. And I've had people do it, and it's totally possible. I hope that answered your question. Any other questions? All right, bye, Leslie. And yes, that's fine, Leslie. If you missed the first one, that's probably the best one to miss actually. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys. And Elizabeth, if I know you, you're probably going to be in this trainer course too. If I offer, right? I love it. I love having you. That's living transformation right there. Like you're just like, I'm here. It's beautiful. Okay, well, have a beautiful day. I'm gonna go eat dinner with my kids. You have lunchtime. Have a good lunch. Or you breakfast for Kim.
You.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Congratulations, everyone who signs up.
Yes. Bye.